Hello children, I hope you are well at home. Welcome to your science class. Let us start with today's topic. So for today we are going to start a new topic, the ecosystems of forests and lagoons. So we already covered the topic of the solar system, sun, moon, earth, the other planets. So you're going to revise this and let us start with today, our topic for today, the ecosystems. Okay, so let us see on the page 121. I hope your book is in front of you. You're going to follow. In grades 3 and 4, you have learned about problems in the environment, about living things, endemic and exotic plants in the environment, protection and conservation of the environment. In this unit, you're going to learn about the existence of different types of ecosystems. Okay, about the forest and lagoon ecosystems, the importance and the consequences of beach and soil erosion, and also how to prevent all this. So I'm sure you're ready. Let us start. Okay, first of all, let us see what is an ecosystem. We have to know the definition first to be able to go further. So the ecosystem consists of all the plants, all the animals and microorganisms. Microorganism meaning very little creatures, okay, living in an area along with the non-living components like climate, water, soil, etc. In short form, the ecosystem means all the living things, all the plants, animals, very tiny creatures, along with the non-living things in an environment. Okay, the ecosystem meaning all the living things and the non-living things in the environment. So the climate, the water and the soil also form part of the ecosystem. Let us move on. Okay, so this topic is about the ecosystems of forests and lagoons. So let us start with the forest ecosystem before reading on in your book. A forest ecosystem is a terrestrial unit of living organisms. Terrestrial meaning everything that is found on land. Which consists of plants, animals, and microorganisms, all interacting among themselves and with the environment. The environment consists of the soil, the climate, the water, light, air in which they live. Okay, so the forest ecosystem meaning everything that is related on land, okay, in the forest. The forest is one of the main resources in our world. Nearly it occupies 40% of the world's land area. So here it is talking about the importance of the forest. Why the forest is important? Because of plants, animals, and all this. Now let us see what are lagoons. Lagoons are shallow bodies of water which are protected by the oceans. Okay, they are usually protected by islands, coral reefs, etc. Okay, this is an example of the lagoon. Now we are going to see in your book on the page 122 the ecosystem. So first you're going to take a look at the figure. Figure 1, what can you see? You can see the forests, okay, you can see a lake, animals everywhere, plants. Okay, so this is about the ecosystem. Observe figure 1 carefully. It shows an environment in which living and non-living things are present. Identify all the living things and fill in the first column of table 1. Identify all the non-living things and fill in the second column of table 1. So the next page you are going to have a table in which you will have to fill in the living and non-living things from the figures you can see. So I will be giving you the definition of ecosystem, which you will have to copy to note down in your copybook. What is an ecosystem? It refers to the environment where both living things and non-living things coexist. Okay, very simple. An ecosystem consists of both living things and non-living things in an environment. In some ecosystems, living things depend on other living things to live. Okay, in other ecosystems, living things depend on non-living things to live. For example, plants. Plants, which are living things, depend on sun, water, air, and soil in order to survive. So sun, water, air, and soil are non-living things. Human beings depend on both living things and non-living things to exist. Let us see the example. They depend on plants, animals, as well as air, water, and minerals from the soil. So plants, animals are living things, and the rest, air, water, and minerals from the soil, are non-living things, and on vitamins from fruits and vegetables to exist, to live. So this was about how some living things depend on non-living things and how living things depend on other living things. Let us move on. From your book on the page 120, okay, so you have the table in which you'll have to fill in the living things and the non-living things. So I need not explain this. Living things depend on non-living things to exist. For example, plants depend on the sun to manufacture their food. Now you have some exercises. After discussion with your friends, unfortunately you do not have your friends with you at home. Okay, so try discussing with your parents. Give 2 other examples where a living thing depends on a non-living thing to live. Some living things depend on other living things to live. For example, the frogs eat insects found in the environment around them to live. After discussion with your friends, give 2 other examples of living things that depend on other living things to live. Let us see how living things depend on non-living things to live. You have plants and animals, which depend on water, air, and soil. The fish depends on water and aquatic plants. How living things depend on other living things to live. Let us take the example of the tiger. The tiger depends on other animals for its food, example the deer. And now the deer feeds on plants. So both deer and plants are living things. So this is how the deer is going to depend on other living things to live. So children, that was some ideas for you. You're not going to note this down in your book as your answers. You're going to think of other answers found in the picture. I hope it's clear for you. Okay. So children, that's all for today. You're going to do this small activity in your book on the page 123. See you later. We are going to continue with our class, with our topic ecosystem in our next class. Take care, stay safe at home. Bye bye.